What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something serious, guns that are disappearing from the market faster than you'd think. Whether it's through potential legislation, manufacturing changes, or simple scarcity, these firearms are becoming harder to find every single day. Selling one of these guns might just go down as the biggest mistake of your life. Some firearms aren't just built tough, they're built to outlive you, me, and probably your grandkids too. These are the legends of the gun world. The ones that hold their value, never quit, and only get rarer with time. From survival rifles to iconic military surplus, legendary wheel guns to modern tactical masterpieces, I'm breaking down the top 10 firearms you should hang on to at all costs, or get your hands on while you still can. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Number 10. The Henry AR-7 Survival Rifle. First up is a firearm that's been around since the late 1950s but might not be around much longer. The Henry AR-7 Survival Rifle. Originally designed by Eugene Stoner, yeah, the same guy behind the AR-15, this little .22 was built for Air Force pilots who needed a survival weapon that could fit in almost no space at all. What makes the AR-7 so special is hidden right in its design. This entire rifle, barrel, receiver, magazines, breaks down and stores inside its own waterproof stock. The whole package weighs just 3.5 pounds and floats on water. You're literally looking at a full-functioning semi-auto rifle that can fit inside a backpack with room to spare. The AR-7 fires .22 LR ammunition, perfect for small game hunting and basic self-defense in a pinch. Is it going to stop a grizzly? Number, but it'll put food on the table when you need it most. Henry's modern version improved on the original Armalite design with better reliability and a more durable stock. They're currently selling for around $300 to $400. But here's the thing. Compact takedown rifles like this are prime candidates for restriction. Their concealability and tactical appearance puts them squarely in the crosshairs of anti-gun legislators. Pros: incredibly compact and lightweight, completely waterproof when stowed, affordable ammunition, perfect for bug-out bags and emergency kits, simple to maintain. Cons: limited stopping power with .22 LR, not designed for high-volume shooting. Plastic stock can feel cheap to some users. Accuracy is good, but not match grade. If you're putting together a serious survival kit or just appreciate innovative firearm design, grab an AR-7 while you still can. These little rifles represent American ingenuity at its finest, and they're becoming harder to find by the day. Next up is a piece of genuine American history, the Marlin 336. Number 9. Marlin 336. This lever-action rifle has been putting meat on tables and protecting homesteads since 1948, but recent developments have made its future uncertain. When Remington went bankrupt in 2020, Marlin was split off and acquired by Ruger. While they've restarted production, the classic 336 isn't the same gun it once was. The pre-bankruptcy Marlins, especially those made before the 2007 Freedom Group acquisition, are considered far superior in quality and craftsmanship. What makes the 336 special? It's chambered in .30-30 Winchester or .35 Remington, proven brush cartridges perfect for deer hunting in wooded areas. The side ejection design means you can mount a scope without shells flying across your line of sight. And that smooth lever action? It's practically butter in your hands when you're working it. The 336's design allows for quick follow-up shots while maintaining excellent accuracy out to about 200 yards. That's more than enough for the vast majority of hunting situations. And unlike bolt actions, you never have to take your eye off the target. These rifles are built to last generations. Pros: rock-solid reliability, smooth lever action, powerful enough for medium game. Side ejection allows for scope mounting, generations-proven design, American-made quality. Cons: limited effective range compared to modern rifles, heavier than some contemporary options. Pre-bankruptcy models becoming scarce, not ideal for left-handed shooters. Number 8. Kar 98K. Moving on to a piece of world history that's quickly vanishing from the market. The Karabiner 98 Kurz, better known as the Kar 98K. This German Mauser design from the 1930s represents the pinnacle of bolt-action military rifles from the World War II era. The Kar 98K was the primary infantry rifle of the German Wehrmacht during World War II, but don't let that historical connection cloud your judgment of its engineering. This is one of the strongest, most reliable bolt-action designs ever created. The controlled feed Mauser action has been copied by virtually every major rifle manufacturer since its introduction. Chambered in 8mm Mauser, these rifles pack a serious punch. The cartridge is comparable to .30-06 in performance, making it capable of taking down any North American game animal. The 5-round internal magazine might seem limited by today's standards, but it's more than sufficient for hunting applications. These rifles are disappearing for several reasons. What makes these rifles special isn't just their historical significance, it's their practical performance. The action is smooth as silk once broken in, and the triggers are remarkably good for military rifles. The accuracy is impressive even by modern standards, capable of consistent 2-minute of angle groups with good ammunition. Pros: legendary Mauser action reliability, powerful 8mm cartridge, built to withstand extreme conditions, historical significance, excellent investment potential, surprisingly good accuracy. Cons: surplus ammunition becoming scarce, heavy by modern standards, limited magazine capacity, finding unmodified examples increasingly difficult. Many show signs of hard use. If you want to own a piece of firearms history that's also a capable hunting tool, the Kar 98K should be on your shortlist. Original examples in good condition regularly sell for $1,000 to $2,500 depending on variant and provenance. Number 7. Remington 870. If there's one shotgun that's defined American law enforcement, home defense, and bird hunting for decades, it's the Remington 870. Since its introduction in 1950, over 11 million of these pump actions have been produced, making it one of the most successful firearms designs in history. But here's the kicker: the Remington 870, as we've known it, is gone. When Remington went bankrupt, the new owners took over production, but the legendary quality control and craftsmanship that made the 870 famous has been fundamentally altered. What made the 870 special was its perfect balance of simplicity, reliability, and versatility. This pump-action shotgun could be equipped with barrels for everything from deer hunting to home defense to clay shooting. The action is silky smooth, allowing for rapid follow-up shots when needed. Pre-bankruptcy 870s, particularly the police and wingmaster models, were built to much higher standards than most shotguns on the market. The machining was precise, the bluing was deep and even, and the wood-to-metal fit was exceptional. These qualities are increasingly hard to find in modern production shotguns. The beauty of the 870 platform is its modularity. Need a shorter barrel for home defense? Swap it out in seconds. Want to go duck hunting? Change to a longer barrel with the appropriate choke. This adaptability made the 870 the only shotgun many Americans ever needed to own. Pros: legendary reliability, tremendous aftermarket support, easily customizable, simple to maintain, proven track record in harsh conditions, excellent resale value. Cons: quality difference between old and new production, heavier than some competing designs. Basic models lack some modern features, original Remington parts becoming scarcer. If you come across a pre-2007 Remington 870, especially a Wingmaster or police model, grab it. These shotguns will continue to serve faithfully while appreciating in value. They represent American manufacturing at its peak, something we're seeing less and less of in today's market. Number 6. Smith & Wesson Model 25-2. Now let's talk about a wheel gun that's becoming increasingly rare. The Smith & Wesson Model 25-2. This end-frame revolver chambered in .45 long Colt represents a golden age of American revolver craftsmanship that we're unlikely to see again. The Model 25 traces its lineage back to the 1950s, evolving from the classic S and W hand ejector. The 25-2 variant, produced primarily in the 1970s and 80s, featured improvements to the lockwork and overall design that made it one of the finest production revolvers ever manufactured. What makes this revolver special? For starters, it's chambered in .45 long Colt, one of America's most iconic cartridges dating back to 1873. The 6-shot cylinder provides ample firepower, while the end frame size gives you enough heft to manage recoil effectively. These revolvers feature beautiful bluing that you simply don't see in modern production. The trigger pull, especially in single action, breaks like glass, often measuring at just 2.5 to 3 pounds. The craftsmanship is evident in every aspect of the gun, from the precision-cut checkering on the walnut grips to the perfect timing of the cylinder. Smith & Wesson still makes revolvers, but the modern offerings lack many of the features that made these classics special. The pinned barrels, recessed chambers, and hand-fitted actions of the older models set them apart in both quality and performance. Pros: exceptional build quality, powerful .45 LC cartridge, outstanding accuracy, beautiful finish and craftsmanship, simple, reliable operation, excellent investment potential. Cons: heavy for everyday carry, limited to 6 rounds, slower to reload than modern designs, premium price compared to contemporary revolvers. Finding original parts can be challenging. If you're a revolver enthusiast or collector, finding a Model 25-2 in good condition should be a priority. Prices have already climbed substantially, with clean examples regularly commanding $1,500 to $2,500. As time passes, these masterpieces of American gun-making will only become more valuable and harder to find. Number 5. Ruger Security 6. Speaking of wheel guns that are disappearing, the Ruger Security 6 deserves special attention. Manufactured from 1971 to 1988, this medium-frame .357 Magnum revolver set new standards for durability and value that have rarely been matched since. Unlike some of the other firearms on our list, the Security 6 wasn't discontinued due to quality issues or corporate troubles. Ruger simply moved on to newer designs like the GP100, but many enthusiasts and experts consider that a mistake, as the Security 6 hit a sweet spot of size, weight, and performance that later models couldn't match. What made the Security 6 special was its construction. Unlike Smith & Wesson revolvers that used a side plate design, the Ruger featured a solid frame with the internals accessible from the bottom. This created an incredibly strong revolver that could handle decades of full-power .357 Magnum loads without breaking a sweat. The Security 6 was a working man's revolver, not flashy, but incredibly functional. Many were carried by law enforcement officers and security personnel who valued reliability above all else. The comfortable grip size, manageable recoil, and reasonable weight made it practical for everyday carry in an era when revolvers were still standard issue. These revolvers were overbuilt in the best possible way. The machining wasn't fancy, but it was precise where it counted. The timing, lockup, and barrel-to-cylinder gap were all meticulously controlled. Even after thousands of rounds, a well-maintained Security 6 will show minimal end shake and perfect timing. Pros: tank-like durability, excellent value compared to competitors, handles full-power Magnum loads with ease, simple, robust design, comfortable size for both duty and concealed carry, impressive accuracy for a production revolver. Cons: heavier trigger pull than some competitors, less refined finish than premium revolvers, limited aftermarket support compared to S&W, finding factory parts becoming difficult, not as pretty as some collector revolvers. If you're looking for a revolver that will run flawlessly for generations while appreciating in value, the Security 6 should be on your radar. Clean examples typically sell for $700 to $1,200 depending on condition and variant, but those prices are steadily climbing as knowledgeable shooters recognize what's been lost in modern production. Number 4. Colt Diamondback. Now we're getting into true collector territory with the Colt Diamondback. Produced from 1966 to 1988, this medium-frame revolver was essentially a premium version of the famous Colt Police Positive Special. Available in both .22 LR and .38 Special, the Diamondback combined the best features of Colt's snake guns in a more practical package. The Diamondback is often referred to as the poor man's python, sharing the ventilated rib, full lug barrel, and elegant profile of its more famous cousin, but in a more manageable size. But make no mistake, there was nothing poor about the craftsmanship that went into these revolvers. What makes the Diamondback special is the legendary Colt V-spring action. When properly tuned, these triggers provide some of the smoothest double-action pulls ever found in a production revolver. The single-action break is clean and crisp at around 3 pounds, making these guns remarkably accurate despite their relatively short barrels. The bluing on vintage Colts is simply in a class of its own. Deep, rich, and lustrous. It's more like jewelry than a functional finish. Combined with the checkered walnut grips and polished hammer, the Diamondback exudes an elegance that modern production guns rarely achieve. Colt has recently revived some of their classic snake gun designs, but the Diamondback remains a relic of the past. Modern manufacturing methods simply can't replicate the hand-fitting and attention to detail that went into the originals, making them increasingly desirable to collectors and shooters alike. Pros: exceptional fit and finish, superb trigger quality, outstanding accuracy, classic Colt aesthetics, more practical size than larger Colt revolvers, strong collector appeal. Cons: relatively fragile compared to Ruger and S&W. Parts availability becoming very limited, expensive compared to modern alternatives, not ideal for high-volume shooting, requires more careful maintenance than modern revolvers. If you ever come across a Colt Diamondback in good condition, don't hesitate. These revolvers have been appreciating steadily for decades, with clean examples now commanding $2,000 to $3,500, depending on barrel length, caliber, and condition. As the years pass, finding one at any price will become increasingly difficult. Number 3. Glock 20 SF. Let's switch gears to something more modern. The Glock 20 SF in 10mm auto. While Glock pistols are certainly not rare, this specific model represents a unique combination of features that make it increasingly desirable as concerns about ammunition availability and wildlife defense grow. The Glock 20 SF, short frame, was introduced to make the large frame 10mm pistol more manageable for shooters with average-sized hands. The reduced grip circumference, combined with the raw power of the 10mm cartridge, created a uniquely versatile handgun suitable for everything from self-defense to hunting. What makes the G20 SF special is its ballistic capability. The 10mm auto cartridge was originally designed to outperform the .45 ACP while offering better capacity. In its full power loadings, 10mm can deliver energy-approaching Magnum revolver levels from a semi-automatic platform with 15+1 capacity. The SF variant is particularly noteworthy because it solved the primary complaint about the standard G20, its bulky grip. By reducing the trigger reach and grip circumference, Glock made this powerhouse accessible to more shooters without compromising function or reliability. With increasing numbers of people venturing into the backcountry and concerns about defensive ammunition availability, the G20 SF represents the perfect combination of capacity, power, and reliability. It's powerful enough for defense against large predators while still being manageable for personal protection. Pros: exceptional power-to-size ratio, outstanding reliability, 15+1 capacity, manageable recoil for its power level, versatile for multiple applications, more comfortable grip than standard G20. Cons: 10mm ammunition more expensive than common calibers, larger and heavier than typical carry pistols, SF variant specifically becoming harder to find, requires proper grip technique to control effectively, not ideal for concealed carry. If you're looking for a do-it-all handgun that can handle everything from home defense to backcountry protection, the Glock 20 SF should be high on your list. While not technically discontinued, this specific variant is becoming increasingly difficult to find as Glock has shifted focus to their Gen 5 models, which don't currently include a 10mm option with the SF grip dimensions. Number 2. AKM. Few firearms are as iconic or have shaped global history as much as the AKM. This refined version of Mikhail Kalashnikov's revolutionary design represents the pinnacle of Soviet small arms development, combining reliability, simplicity, and effectiveness in a package that's been proven across 6 decades of conflict. The AKM, modernized Kalashnikov assault rifle, was the standard Soviet infantry weapon from the late 1950s through the 1970s. While newer variants have been developed, the core design remains largely unchanged because it simply works, regardless of conditions. What makes the AKM special isn't precision or fancy features, it's the unmatched reliability under adverse conditions. These rifles will function when dirty, neglected, or subjected to extreme environments that would render other designs inoperable. The simple gas piston system runs without the tight tolerances required by direct impingement designs like the AR-15. Original military AKMs are becoming increasingly rare in America due to import restrictions. While commercial variants are available, they often lack the authentic construction methods and materials that make the originals so special. True mil-spec AKMs feature chrome-lined barrels, stamped receivers, and heat-treated components that contribute to their legendary durability. The 7.62 by 39mm cartridge offers excellent terminal performance at practical combat distances, with manageable recoil and good barrier penetration. The 30-round magazines provide substantial firepower while remaining reasonably compact and lightweight. Pros: unmatched reliability under adverse conditions, simple manual of arms, effective cartridge for medium ranges, durable construction, easy to maintain with minimal tools, iconic design with historical significance. Cons: less accurate than Western military rifles, ergonomics considered outdated by modern standards, heavy compared to contemporary designs, import restrictions making originals scarce, limited mounting options for optics on original designs. If you can find an authentic military AKM or a quality reproduction built on a proper parts kit, it's worth the investment. These rifles aren't just firearms, they're pieces of living history that remain practical tools in the modern world. With import restrictions tightening every year, the opportunity to own these iconic rifles is gradually disappearing. Number 1. Heckler & Koch Mark 23. Finally, let's look at what might be the most overbuilt handgun ever created for military use, the Heckler & Koch Mark 23. Developed for U.S. Special Operations Command in the 1990s, this massive .45 ACP pistol represents the absolute pinnacle of combat handgun engineering, regardless of cost or practicality. The MK-23 was designed from the ground up to meet SOCOM's requirements for an offensive handgun weapon system. The emphasis wasn't on concealability or lightweight design. It was on absolute reliability, durability, and accuracy under the most extreme conditions imaginable. What makes the MK-23 special is its no-compromise approach to every aspect of design. The match-grade barrel delivers accuracy that can rival some rifles. The proprietary O-ring system creates a temporary barrel lockup during firing, enhancing precision. The polygonal rifling provides excellent velocity and barrel life. This pistol was tested beyond any reasonable expectation, functioning reliably after being submerged in mud, frozen in ice, dropped from helicopters, and subjected to over 30,000 rounds without cleaning. The tolerances and materials were selected without regard to production cost, resulting in a handgun that will likely outlast its owner. The MK-23 features ambidextrous controls, a match-grade trigger, and a dedicated mounting platform for suppressors. The extended threaded barrel was designed specifically to work with sound suppressors without reliability issues, something many pistols struggle with. Pros: exceptional accuracy, unmatched durability, reliable with any ammunition, designed for suppressor use, match-grade trigger, collector value continues to increase. Cons: extremely large and heavy, expensive compared to most handguns, limited holster options, overkill for most civilian applications, increasingly difficult to find new. If you're serious about owning firearms that represent the pinnacle of engineering, the HK Mark 23 deserves a place in your collection. While still technically in production, They're manufactured in extremely limited numbers and often sell out immediately. Current market prices start around $2,500 for the pistol alone, with complete SOCOM packages, including suppressor and laser aiming module, commanding significantly more. There you have it, 10 firearms that are disappearing from the market for various reasons. Some are victims of corporate change, others of shifting regulations, and still others simply represent craftsmanship and attention to detail that's becoming increasingly rare in today's manufacturing environment. What do you think? Did I miss any firearms that should be on this list? Do you disagree with any of my choices? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and subscribe for more content about firearms, survival, and protecting your rights. Until next time, shoot straight, stay safe, and never give up your right to keep and bear arms.